Word, man. Yo, salute, man, to the chat. Peace to everybody, man. Came in, man. Y'all already know, man. Finna break down a little bit of some psychoanalysis, man. We finna get into a little bit of astrology, man. I like to promote this because, this is something that on a personal level, even, on the community level, can really help and, give our people some overstanding on where they stand and what life is about. So shout out to chat right quick, man. Scotty Saturn was the first one in here, man. So salute to you, King. You know what I'm saying? Libra Sun done jumped off in the building. Peace, King. Furry Taino, you already know, bro. Salute. Corey Mayo. Salute to the King, yo. I'm probably put the link in the chat, man. For people that just might want to jump on and share some ideology or whatever that they may know about astrology or whatever, man. I don't mind having people on. It's always good to have some extra minds and ideologies when it comes to uh spiritual and mental growth, because this is what it's about, man. It's time for our people to actually be able to reach our higher selves, so that way when we do deal with one another, everything is all peace, strength, and progression. You know what I'm saying? So salute to everybody. Cherokee Peasy, yo. Salute, King. You know what I'm saying? AP in the building. What up, God? Salute, bro. You know what I mean? Charles Clark, peace, King. You already know. Eagle Hawk Condor. You already know. Salute, man. We in here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, this gonna pretty much just be on astrology. You know, it's just about really waking our people up to the fullest, man. I actually got a book I'm gonna be reading out of a little bit. I'm also show, astrology show. I know a lot of people out here already putting out a lot of information on astrology, man. Shout out to Dolo the Flight Boss. He's one of my main ones, you know what I'm saying, that I watch. He's very, very informative and he very, very fast with the light that he brings. So sometimes you just gotta breathe, sit back, and pretty much just listen, or do your own research to really understand what astrology is about first before you try to jump in and just listen to other people or whatever. That really makes it a lot more easier, so you can really know how to decipher your chart. Other than that, man, there's plenty of people out here. Santos Bonacci is he's a foreigner, but he's one that's known for breaking down astrology for years, man. He's pretty much at a high level with it, even breaking it down to law and to other little spiritual practices, man. I mean, the guy's just very credible when it comes to this information. So I had to shout him out. I'm pretty sure you probably seen it pop up on your live feeds or whatever, man. Other than that, man, it's pretty much your life chart. I'm gonna share my screen right quick, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get to it because I know I ain't gonna have all morning, but I'm just gonna share a picture of the chart. You know what I'm saying? Uh, if of course, on my right, if you see in the corner, I don't know if y'all can see my arrow or what, but on my right is an astrology chart. Now, if you don't have an astrology chart, you know what I'm saying, I always suggest people to at least just print one out, um, or just kind of draw your own chart. As you see, this one right here is actually um, how the chart is designed naturally. If you notice, okay, uh, this is just symbols, and I'll just start from the top. You know what I'm saying? Because it's 12 areas, which is 12 houses. So you basically just, you can kind of start at the top at the 12 area. I'm gonna start up here, just with the arrow at, of course, it's Sagittarius. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Capricorn. You see what I'm saying? Then you got Aquarius. Well, I'm going counterclockwise. Okay. So you got Sagittarius right here and with the red arrow. Then you got Capricorn. And then you have Aquarius. Then you have Pisces. Then you have Aries. All right. So you notice if you go clockwise, Aries would be at the 8 o'clock position. The 8 o'clock position, just like a clock, you use the 8 o'clock position to actually, well, if you ever do a chart, if anybody have one, the 8 o'clock position is actually where your chart starts. It doesn't start at the top. It don't start at the right. It actually starts at the eighth position, which they would consider that your first house. So it's just knowing how to look at a chart. So every chart, this position right here where Aries is at, because Aries is known as the first house anyway. So according to astrology, Aries is the first house. So you would start here where Aries is at, and then go around, counterclockwise as you mark your chart. But the key to the chart is actually putting in, of course, your birthday in a certain, the specific time. Having a specific time does give more accuracy to your chart because it actually gives you the correct alignments of, your houses and planets. So with the houses and planets, that's going to determine the influences or the personality that you're going to have. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Like I say, it's plenty of people that you can just get simple information, like the first house, each house and its ruling planet. I know for Sagittarius it's Jupiter, and then you got for Capricorn it's Saturn, and then for Aquarius it's Uranus, and then for Pisces, I think it's I think it was Pluto. I want to say, I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'm learning still, but it's just something to really, keep in mind. You can always look that up. Aries, of course, is Mars. You know what I'm saying? Taurus, I know, is Venus. Gemini is Mercury, you know, and then we got Cancer with the moon, Leo with the sun, and you got Virgo is also I think it's a Mercury, and then you got Libra has Venus, and Scorpio has Pluto. So you talking about those ruling planets in each house. Most of the time, you know, for people who do know their charts, you know that the ruling planet of whatever house it's in, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get into that. Right now, I really just wanted to get into. Well, first, let me show y'all this. I'm gonna show y'all the Mayan uh, chart also before I go any further. Um, Let me see. I had the actual. I can't find the picture that I had, but either way, let me see. It might be down here. Y'all bear with me, man. That's just the days of the month. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and find the chart. But either way, this is like this is their chart right here. But it's also it's they got it designed in a circular way, so this ain't how it looked, but this is actually a breakdown of the chart. And these names, they call them solar seals. And this is basically, it come in like fours. You see what I'm saying? Eat red dragon, white wind, blue night, yellow seed. That's a quadrant. All that is in the red. And if you see, these are basically, tones of names. You see what I'm saying? They give you the tone name. See what I'm saying? They give you the power, action, and essence. See what I'm saying? So it's something to look into. I know I'm speeding through this because I really got to read out this book. I just want y'all to see this chart just to show y'all the difference of astrology, of our astrology or whatever that we have modern day in the Mayan astrology. So as you see, just to give a breakdown, it says red dragon, and it's basically giving you the tone of the name. Okay, red dragon, and the action of the dragon is nurture. Okay, the power that the red dragon brings is birth, and the essence is being. So that's just an example of just like if you born in a quadrant, basically, kind of like if red dragon is the first house, it would be similar to the house of Aries. So Aries is a spring sign also, which is birth, which represents, the same thing as this right here would be red dragon, which is birth. Okay. It says action nurture. So uh most Aries are nurturing people. They can be if they want to be. You see what I'm saying? And the Aries always, their presence always stand out, you know what I'm saying? Being, you know what I'm saying? It's just something to just kind of give a short similarity to. I know it might be a little over the head for those who don't know, but this is just something, just it's more of a psychoanalysis. You know what I'm saying? You see the second one is white wind. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know, okay, wind, communicate is the action, the power is spirit, and the essence is breath. You see what I'm saying? Like it all coincide. So it's just about, the culture and the people and how they breaking it down. But we're gonna get back to the regular astrology. I don't want to confuse people too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it simple. I just wanted to show that because it's different ways and techniques that you can do astrology. There is no one way. You got divination systems in different cultures, you know what I'm saying, that people use, like I say, to perform or how to read astrology. Agriculture comes from astrology also, you know what I'm saying, being able to study the skies and whatever. Um, it's just plenty of things that you can utilize with astrology, just even breaking it down, like I say, to the human being, you know what I'm saying, in their action and their ways. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna read through certain ages. Let me check on y'all right quick, man. Just bear with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I'm gonna read out of this book. It's called, I don't have it of course, online. This is a hard copy, but I have the book called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. And it's by Joanna Martine Woolfolk. Okay. And this book is basically a head banger, and it basically is the only book you'll ever need for astrology. So for anybody that's thinking about, you know, looking up into this stuff, you can basically use this book to draw your own chart, or for anybody else or your families, man. And it's something to use because you can actually see, what is the actual influence or what actual, you know, persona you're dealing with when it comes to different beings. All right. So I'm gonna start with the age of Leo, and this is coming out of the book, uh, the only astrology book you'll ever need by Joanna Martine Woolfolk. Okay. So this is just giving you a breakdown of how times and things were in certain ages. Okay. So of course I'm not taking this, hard factual evidence, what I'm saying? It's just a good way to look at us and how our abilities as people have changed and what we are, basically adapting to as time change. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start with the age of Leo, okay? They got it calculated 10,000 BC to 8,000 BC. So we talking roughly 12,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago. They saying was the age of Leo, okay? So here we go. It says this age is characterized by the energy and creativity of human beings learning how to use their environment. It says men and women lived in caves. Hold on, right quick. It says men and women lived in caves, learned to refine highly finished and polished stone implements. It says the sun, ruler of Leo. All right. So we know that, when you talking about Leo, the planetary ruler of Leo is the sun. It says the sun, ruler of Leo, was of paramount importance to Neolithic people, which is New Stone Age people. It says for during this era, human beings acquired a limited ability to raise food, which was agriculture. It says rather than merely hunt and gather. It says according to astrologers, cave paintings from this age says the first written history says showed a marked Leo influence. So they saying that basically in that age we was doing agriculture, and we proved that. I don't know if anybody checked out the bill last night, reading the American Indian Encyclopedia, 15,000 years of inventions and innovations. I actually read seed selection myself, and it was calculated at 8,000 BC, of people actually, cultivating seeds in certain areas to help, keep the land and keep themselves fed. So that does match up with that. All right. So the next one is the age of Cancer. All right. So the age of Cancer is calculated at 8,000 BC to 6,000 BC. So that would be 10,000 years ago to 8,000 years ago. It said it was during this age that human beings abandoned their caves and formed fixed dwellings above ground. It says people learned to spin and weave and make pottery. It says they began to grow varied crops to domesticate animals. It said moon worship and fertility rites it said moon worship and fertility rites abounded during this era. And it says Cancer is ruled by the moon and is the sign of domesticity, domesticity and fertility and motherhood. So astrologers trace mankind's written history only as far as back as the age of Leo. So that right there, once again, the encyclopedia backs that up also. We read pottery as well yesterday. I know they had it calculated at least 5,000 years ago. So once again, this just backs up a little bit more of what we've been researching already and just giving you more of what was going on at that age of time. So next we're gonna go to the age of Gemini. All right. And this is calculated 6,000 BC to 4,000 BC. So that's 8,000 years ago to 6,000 years ago. Okay. You notice it's narrowing down. It says this age is marked by the development of writing. All right. It says Gemini is the sign of communication. Okay. It says mankind expanded its intellectual capacities by beginning to record and to store information. The invention of the wheel made rudimentary commerce and travel possible, both ruled by Gemini. Okay. So at that time, they saying, okay, you know, 8,000 to 6,000 years ago, we was basically recording and storing information and basically moving around to find information. You know what I'm saying? This is the age of communication. People actually learning how to just involve themselves with each other. You see what I'm saying? So, all right, next one, age of Taurus. All right, calculated 4,000 BC to 2,000 BC. That would be from 6,000 years ago to 4,000 years ago. So it says the great Egyptian civilization, with its emphasis on cultivation of land and new technology of building, says the pyramids. It says echoes the influence of earthy Taurus. Both the aesthetic nature of Taurus and its solidity are reflected in the beautiful art and architecture of this age. So, like I say, once again, we're talking at least 6,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Of course, pyramids and all that stuff was being built. A lot of the oldest pyramid structures are marked around that time. Well, they gave the one in Peru right at 5,000 years ago because they had it at uh, 3,000 BC. So you talking about, they saying that's when all these great monuments and architecture and stuff began in the age of Taurus, which would make sense because Taurus is an energy of, beauty, showing that you can, stand out and look good. You know what I'm saying? That's Taurus all day. All right. So we're going to get in the age of Aries. All right. And this is calculated 2000 BC to 1 BC. So that's 4,000 years ago to 2,000 years ago. And it said that this era is known as the Iron Age. All right. When mankind learned to fashion weapons from iron. All right. It said Aries rules the metal iron. It says the age is also characterized by its militancy and aggressive spirit. It said during this era, Assyria and the Greek city states rose to power, and Alexander the Great conquered the world. It says in the latter part of age, militaristic Rome became the most powerful empire ever known. All right. So once again, even with that, with the ironwork, we did find ironwork in the encyclopedia at 5,000 BC. So that would make it 7,000 years ago. So, you know, on that end, us Americans been working with iron, but of course, everybody don't have that information. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here at like Miss Joanna was supposed to state all that. All right, so all right, we're finna get in the age of Pisces real quick. All right, so it says the age of Pisces calculated to 81 to now up to 2000. All right. So we all know, I know people might have heard, that we just left the age of Pisces and, you know, uh, actually, if you did keep up with it, a lot of people told you that that was the age of struggles or that's the age of monotheistic ideologies or control. You know what I'm saying? Different little stuff. But we're gonna see what Joanna say. It says the enormous influence of Christianity changed the world during this era. Ain't that the truth? It says Pisces is the sign of spiritual knowledge. It says the fish symbol. It says it's also the symbol of Christianity. It says drawings of fish were used as secret signs between early Christians. Christ called his apostles fishers of men. This age is marked by sacrifice and struggle. All right. So that would make plenty of sense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got to look at what we really just came out of. You know, we literally basically didn't even know our own, laws, or didn't know to uphold the laws. We lost our history. We lost our natural ways of living. Um, we basically lost our minds. You know what I'm saying? We read yesterday also, man, public health. Um, in the encyclopedia, we had public health. They calculated that at, I know around the Inca time period, which is still before Columbus. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, but public health was serious in the American system. It stated that people who actually had to rely on people, that they would be diagnosed as mentally ill and would receive therapy. So we talking about the people that knew that problem ended up actually getting right into the same problem. You know what I'm saying? Not all of us did, but a good, I would say 95 to 90% of us lost who we were, or didn't know that we were the American Indians or the Aboriginals of this land. See what I'm saying? So that right there alone, has us relying and depending on a system instead of actually doing for ourselves. So basically, that would make us all mentally ill, and I'm just being real about it because, this is what this is about. It's not like you know everything, but we've been investigating this crime scene for the past, you know, decade, really. We were just looking in the wrong place. They had us looking at Africa thinking we supposed to be blaming some European Arab people or whatever, but we got to look right over here. Not only that, and some of our own people who betrayed us in this manner to allow us to fall for these sleep modes like this. But either way, I'm gonna read a little bit, and this is what she thinks the age of Aquarius will be like. So just bear with me. I'm not gonna try to read all of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that I know we all, would like to hear or whatever. And then after I read a little bit, I'll just get into explaining at least the first house in your chart, which would be, your sign and when you were born or whatever. So um it says, what will the age of Aquarius be like? All right. So bear with me, y'all. I hope y'all straight in the chat. I hope this ain't boring. You know what I'm saying? Please give me a thumbs up if you don't mind sharing. Uh, this is just something I feel that everybody need. Like I say, in the meantime, to really learn details, of astrology is, I would suggest download a Flight Boss or whoever you can find, answers from that give, astrology answers or whatever. All right, so it says, what will the age of Aquarius be like? It says, for clues, we need to examine the sign of Aquarius. All right. It said Aquarius is the sign of brotherhood and humanitarianism. All right. And that's pretty much what we've been trying to do for the past couple of years, man. We've really been putting this brotherhood together and sisterhood, familyhood, lineagehood, period, to bring humanitarianism to our people, to give our people rights, to give our people, the freedom and have our people on the right mindset that we need. You know what I'm saying? All right, it says Aquarius, the sign of brotherhood and humanitarianism, a glow with utopian ideas. Okay. In the coming era, astrologers accept that the concept of individual nations will fade and humankind will join together as one people rather than be separated into nationalities. Okay. So it says within the next 2,000 years, we hope to at least reach the long held ideal of world peace. All right. Says right now, however, this seems an impossible dream. The age of Aquarius has gotten off to a poor start. Warring factions are everywhere. The United States, specifically the United States, not Americans, but the United States, which is a corporation, okay, has been embroiled in a prolonged war in Iraq. Fundamental Islamism has become strongly militant, dividing the world into them and us. Suspicions, greed, fear, violence, abuses of human rights, and genocide throughout the world have not lessened. Okay. And this is why we do this, man, because we basically, we got to speak up and stand up for something. And if it takes, doing it on a public platform for our people to hear it so we can actually be activated, this is what we got to do. But we got to get our feet on the ground. All right. It says, indeed, they have become more focused and divisive. It says, wealth is not distributed more evenly, and programs are not implemented to better the lives of those suffering poverty, neglect, and lack of education and health care. It says, the haves and have nots are more separated, angry, and conflict ridden. And this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? This is the truth. All right. It says, consider the negatives of Aquarius. It says, this is a fixed air sign. All right. All right. And a fixed air sign meaning inflexibility and stubbornness of ideas. All right. So this would explain a lot of, why we got people who feel they know so much and feel that they have so much knowledge or spent so much money, you know, right now it's harder for most people to get out of the way that they think life is or the way they think life should be or what they think they know. See what I'm saying? It's actually a time now where it's this is why we are elite actually. People on this channel, people who watch Corey Mayo, people who watch A1, people who watch AP, Chief Holiday, Dan Calloway, Medicine Man, everybody else, man, Al TV, Lotus, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who watches us, we're basically not in this paradigm that they talking about right here. We're actually breaking it. I just want to let y'all know that, you know what I'm saying? You didn't come this far to actually learn about yourself and your people to say, oh, I'm gonna be stubborn and not learn anything else. No, you see what I'm saying? We're here to keep advancing and do this for our children. All right. So it says Aquarius forces on the betterment of society, but often leaves out the betterment of the individual. I'm gonna read it again. Aquarius focuses on the betterment of society, but often leaves out the betterment of the individual. All right. So, and that's a good thing. We talk society talk. It's good to talk how we can build a community. It's good to talk how we can actually, come together and do these things. But what about what's really going on with you in your life? You know what I'm saying? Are you really happy? You know what I'm saying? Do you really feel like doing this? You know, is it really in your heart to care right now? You know what I'm saying? Have you been listening to too many Pan Africans that have made you feel like you are a victim or a slave and you are defeated? So therefore you should give up in life? Well, you should stop now and join the Aboriginal community because we here to uplift you and progress to the highest heights. Okay. Shout out to Khalif Browder, man. You know what I'm saying? I just like to say, man, I don't know if anybody didn't watch that documentary about Khalif Browder, who was from the Bronx, who was charged for robbery and was never convicted. You see what I'm saying? Not knowing the law and not knowing your rights, or not having people around you to know these things will have you going through things that you're not supposed to. Point blank, period. The guy was 16 years old, spent 3 years in Rikers without even having a court date, 120 days in solitary confinement. They say After 30 days, you seeing people smearing shit on the wall, banging their head on the wall. Y'all mean to tell me y'all had this dude at 17 or however old he was at that time in a fucking cell for 120 days, and y'all ain't even convicted him of a crime yet? I'm not gonna give too much in the documentary, man, because you need to watch it yourself. And I'm gonna tell you this: it ain't no good ending. Put it like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Put it like that. Matter of fact, it was 14 months. He was. It was 14 months. My bad. I gotta take that back. It was 14 months. This little guy was in solitary confinement. You talking about a little strip of light, a little piece of a window, and nothing but walls in a nasty ass room. Come on, man. I couldn't imagine that, man. And I didn't do anything. Come on, man. This is why we doing this, man. So people won't ever have to go through this again. I'll be damned if one of mine or any one of y'all have to go through anything like that. You best believe, man. We out here, man. That's real, man. I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna try to hold it up, but y'all check that out when you get the chance, man. Straight up, man. All right. It says I'm gonna keep going. It says it gets stuck in adamant thinking patterns that this is right and that this is wrong. All right. Let me read it. It said Aquarius focuses on the betterment of society, but often leaves out the betterment of the individual. It says it gets stuck in adamant thinking patterns that this is right and this is wrong. Okay. Extremism, radicalism, and the militant revolutionary are archetypes of this sign. So as you know, they like to call us radicals, especially me, AP, A1, whatever, man. They like to say that we radical teachers or whatever, man. I don't mind. If that's what you want to say it is, then that's just what it is. But if it's making our people move to a progressive state, then that's just what it is, you know? All right. So it says Aquarius loves its own principles. And because it is such a mental sign, it is easily cut off from the heart. All right. So it's basically saying, you can get very headstrong right now and not care about nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of that, man. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of people getting so much air in their head, till they can't feel their heart. And now you just being an ass or ignorant about stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're not actually taking out the proper time to examine or analyze the situation, whether whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And we got to stop that, man. All right. And it says negative qualities are coldness and spitefulness. The shadow side of Aquarius is anger. All right. Astrologically, the journey of Aquarius is to move away from its perversity. All right. It says find the deeper truth of its humanity and tap into its idealism to create a truly better world. All right. And that's what we're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to know who we are exactly, what we have done, so we can know where we need to be headed towards to. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that. Just keep in mind, I am not speaking of an Aquarian person, but of the sign's characteristics. Okay? It said, and how these might apply to the state of the world during these beginning years of the 21st century. All right. It says, still, we are roughly only 2% of the way into the new age of Aquarius. All right. So perhaps we should concentrate on the positives. And I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it is just starting. And we already see the effects right now with our own people. You know what I'm saying? Our people, really upbringing the Aboriginal community and people who are with us, man, we still low in numbers, but this just it's just we gotta grow. It's still early, man. The water getting poured out, but you see what it's saying. It's gonna create a lot of militant and stubborn behavior. So just keep that in mind, man. Okay, it says Aquarius is the sign of scientific knowledge and invention and rules the airwaves. Okay, so this would explain why social media is so popping. You want to get things online. It's about getting information quick. Everything is about receiving stuff fast now. you know what I'm saying, the airways, you know what I'm saying, Aquarius. Makes sense. He said it is impossible to imagine what mind-boggling inventions will take place in the next 2,000 years. But astrologers predict incredible journeys through space will definitely be one of them. It says not just travel in our own solar system or even our own galaxy, but to the universe beyond. All right. And a lot of people, we don't know what they doing out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they have myself. So I can't vouch for that. But who knows, man? You know, this is a real old place. And they, if they made us think that, we came from, you know, just out of thin air, scrapping up food off the ground, then I couldn't imagine, what else they done kept from us, because you got to think, man, if they wouldn't even let us know that we was doing brain surgery and shit like that, they didn't even let us know we had cigarettes when they pulled up. We actually had shopping centers when they came here. So if they didn't let us know all that, just imagine what they're not letting us know now. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to put, a whole big, you know, fanatical, what I'm saying, mind state like, yo, yeah, we supposed to be looking at space and all like that. No, I'm just saying, just really looking at what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It says, there will be space arts that can transport multitudes of people, space colonies, and interstellar travel. All right. It says the achievement of travel to the stars will indeed be remarkable when one considers that Pluto, our outermost planet, is only 5.0 light minutes away. Light minutes distance from us. It said while the nearest star, not counting our own sun, is 4.3 light years away. It says the only planet is 5 light minutes, but the sun is 4.3 light years. Like, come on, man. Like I say, this stuff get a little confusing. I don't really know space like that, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to examining space. I just been studying these planets and these houses and how it influenced my life. You feel what I'm saying? Uh, Other than that, I'm gonna keep reading this a little bit more. It says Aquarius is a mental sign, and the future should be marked by as yet unthinkable intellectual achievement. It says there will be concern for the environment and the discovery of new technology to solve the problems of dwindling supplies of energy and resources on Earth. Okay, the power of atomic energies, electronics, and aviation. It said are all Aquarian inventions. It said it will be harnessed for the greatest possible use. It said already the computer has reshaped the world, the way we communicate, conduct all business, and keep records. Scientists and psychologists say the computer has already started to reconfigure how the human brain thinks. And we know about that, man. They got that 5G computer, the D-Wave computer that actually is supposed to, absorb people's thoughts and basically give answers, or like it's just supposed to be able to just be alive. You know what I'm saying? Like a live computer that you basically can. Man, I don't know, man. You don't forget the movie Eagle Eye. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. It says, what was I? It says, okay. It says astrology have a special place in their hearts for Aquarius because it is the sign associated with astrology. Okay. So we have already seen an upsurge of interest in astrology at the dawning of the Aquarian age. As someone once remarked, astrology is the religion of the new generation. It says, in the coming age, astrology will no longer be thought of as a superstitious arcane or secret knowledge possessed by few. It will be a respected scientific inquiry available to everyone. Okay? So, like I say, man, Christianity definitely tried to demonize astrology. I don't know about any other, religion like that as far as how they look at astrology, but when you look at the ancient way of spirituality, astrology was always used. You know what I'm saying? and it was different divination systems created beyond that. You like I said, you got in South America, they do divinations with onions. Divinations is basically doing a astrological reading with certain herbs or elements from the earth. Like I say, I know in South America they can use onion. They got this special type of bean also. I forgot what it's called, but it's red and black. They do divinations with that. I know in Santeria, they use different things, even in Africa, Yoruba, they got their divination system, Ifa and all type of stuff. Even here, but it's a lot here. Palo Mayombe, Lukumi, you know what I'm saying? All this stuff was here in America too now. You know what I'm saying? First. Oh yeah, first. You know what I'm saying? One of the oldest divination systems is Lukumi. You know what I'm saying? But you got the even in Asia, you got the I King or the I Ching. You see what I'm saying? They use different little stuff to do readings and read what divinations do and stuff like that, man. So you talking about, that's ancient science, when you can use actual earth elements to actually read someone's life. Not only that, but to be able to diagnose them and actually give them something to heal themselves. You know what I'm saying? This is what we was doing, and people still doing it to this day. It's just, now, stuff has been a lot more narrowed down with astrology for people who do know how to understand astrology. Um, Astrology is really just the study of a life. You know what I'm saying? If you really basing it to a person, you know what I'm saying? You study the life chart of anybody, you're pretty much gonna have, you know, you're gonna know what they're about. But what I'm gonna do is, and I hope y'all bearing with me, man. I hope this ain't boring. I'm not trying to take up too much time, man. I just really wanted to get in how astrology is really effective if you can at least learn it for your children so you can help them understand their self and what they can do. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of people just don't care, but I do. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the first house, which is basically uh, the house of self. And this is typically, like I say, for those who don't have an astrology chart, they do have websites that you can actually put your birthday in and time, and it'll actually show a chart for you with your planet alignments and stuff like that. And they also give you the angles and coordinates of certain connections. You know what I'm saying? You might have, oppositions and uh, stuff like that. They can help you decipher what's going on with you. But I'm gonna keep it simple. Like I say, there's plenty of people out here putting out astrology information. So it's always good to at least know what the houses mean. And then I will go into each house and a ruling planet. That's just me, just to keep it simple for you. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the same book. The book I've been reading out of is the only astrology book you'll ever need. Um, Matter of fact, hold on, let me I'm just gonna show it right quick so y'all won't think I'm bullshit. But you see it right here. The only astrology book you'll ever need by Joanne Martine Woolfolk. I expect, if you really want to know, get this book, man. I'm just being real. I'm just reading right here. As you see, first house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just want to read. Just want to let y'all know I ain't on no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But here we go, man. Y'all bear with me. Uh, Seeker said she had that, but you had it. Oh shoot, man, you better get back in it and start helping some people. Seeker, now you know better than that. Come on now. If you had this book, you're supposed to be sharing this information. I'm not even gonna let you ride out like that. Now, secret now. Come on now. All right. So we got the first house, man. All right. So the first house they always say is the house of self. And the first house, like I said, um, let me go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen right quick one time, just so I can make sure everybody got a good understanding. Like I say, if I'm not good at explaining this, there's plenty of other people who can, man. Um, there's plenty of other people who can. But if you see, I don't know if y'all can see my hand, but where the chart is at on the right, where the Aries symbol at, where is the 8 o'clock position. This is where your first house would be on your chart. Okay. It's not gonna start at the top at the 12 o'clock position. It's gonna be at the 8 o'clock position. So this would be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Right there where Aries is at is the first house. Okay. So first house is the house of self. Like I say, if you ever get a chart, that's where your first house is gonna be. It's not gonna look no other way. Okay. So first house is the house of self. All right. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain each planet in the house. Okay. So I'm gonna explain each planet in the house. All right. But first, let me read this. It says an astrologer looks at when interpreting your birth chart is which houses in your horoscope are occupied by planets. Okay. Any house in your chart that has one or more planets in its emphasized in it is this. Hold on. Any house in your chart that has one or more planets in it is emphasized and strengthened by their presence in specific ways. It says, for example, Jupiter, which is a planet of luck, in your second house of possessions indicates ease in making money. Okay. So it's basically saying, if you got Jupiter in your second house, which is the house of money making or whatever, uh, you're gonna have an abundance of money. So that's why I say just by having your chart alone, and you probably would already have money. So just by seeing that, you'd be like, oh, okay, well that explains it. You see what I'm saying? It says in your second house, yeah, Jupiter in your second house of possessions indicates ease in making money. It says, whereas Jupiter in your seventh house of partnership means you tend to make gains through your partnerships or marriage. Okay. So the seventh house would be, okay, Aries the first. That'll be Taurus the second, Gemini the third, Cancer the fourth, Leo the fifth, Virgo the sixth, and Libra the seventh. All right. So Libra is the seventh house. So that would make sense of it talking about partnerships if you got, Jupiter in that house, according to this chart. Now, your chart would not be the same. It would not even look like this, okay? But just keep that in mind. It says Mars, planet of assertiveness, in your third house of communication designates intellectual sharpness and a powerful talent to communicate effectively. Whereas Mars in your eighth house of regeneration indicates strong willpower, volcanic passions, and interest in the occult. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. It says Mars in your third house. Okay, so your third house on this chart would be Gemini. See what I'm saying? So if you had Mars inside this house, it's saying that you would be very sharp at communicating. See what I'm saying? And not only that, but if you was in Aries and you had Mars in the third house, you're gonna be extra communicative because not only that, it's a home for that house for that planet, and not only that, you talking about Gemini, which is over communication. So you would have complete, you know what I'm saying? About like Pac, you know what I'm saying? I think Pac had Mercury and Mars in Gemini, and he was a Gemini. So that would explain why he was able to put his words together and be so fluent. You know what I'm saying? Most rappers have either Mercury or I know they have Mercury and the sun in their first house a lot. So, like I say, it's just something to look at, man. Just something to look at. Um, it says Venus, the planet of love and beauty, in your first house of self accentuates social ease, a refined aesthetic nature, and a good looking physical appearance. Okay. So Venus in your first house would explain if you're an attractive person, why you are attractive. I mean, if y'all like, does this make sense to y'all? Is y'all rocking with me on this? I mean, I just want to be sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I hope this ain't too boring because this is just interesting to me. You know what I'm saying? I just really hope that it's interesting to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to be wasting nobody's time, but it is what it is. I'm gonna keep going though. It says, whereas Venus in your fourth house of home, okay, so the fourth house would be the home house. It says indicates that you are likely to have a comfortable, beautiful domicile and to have enjoyed a happy childhood. Okay. So, just knowing that it helps. It says each planet in each house has a special meaning, and the following rundown will serve as a useful guide. In order to apply these descriptions to yourself, however, you must first set up your birth chart. Okay. All right. And she got instructions in the book on how you do this. So that's why I say this book is, if you don't find one, if you don't find this one, at least find one similar to this, because this is just basically helping you read yourself and, for your peers, man, for people that you care about, man. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got somebody that you know that you can't stand, you might just do a read and see what it is about that person. You know what I'm saying? Because it might help you be able to just, well, that person can't help it. You know what I'm saying? They align with this, they align with that. You still got willpower now. Now, I'm not going to say that just because, your chart says this and says that you can't take control of your life and use your will to make things happen. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is a good base outline of what you're going to be dealing with in your life or somebody else's to work on or to just make better. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So I'm gonna read a little bit. All right. First house of self. All right. So if you got the sun in your first house, right? Say this is Aries right here. So if you got the sun right here, this is what it's saying. Sun in the first house. It says planet of vitality and individuality. All right. So if you got the sun in the first house, it says you have a strong will and sense of self, and you like lots of attention. You are an independent person with leadership ability. Good points are health constitution, generous, and confident. Okay. Dignified. All right. Now, the bad points is authoritative, egotistical, and dictatorial. Okay. So that's just having the sun in the first house alone. You know what I'm saying? Just you want attention and you like to be noticed. See what I'm saying? But the bad part of that is being controlling, being too egotistical. You want to dictate everything. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people do have the sun in their first house. You know what I'm saying? I happen to be one of those people. I'll admit that. But, I definitely don't try to be dictative or egotistical or authoritative. That is something that I had to work on with certain areas in my life, especially when it came to sports. Now when it comes to that, yeah, I'm a dictator to death. But I had to learn to not be, in order to really embrace my teammates and then, others around me. But we're gonna get to the moon next, okay? So once again, this is still the first house. If you have the moon in your first house, which is the planet of emotions and instincts, all right, it says you are imaginative in the way you express yourself and intuitive about other people. It says home and family mean a great deal to you, and you remember your childhood with nostalgia. It says you want to be appreciated and admired, and you would like to be famous. Okay. And the good points of that is, moon people with the first house are receptive, romantic, and curious. Okay. The bad points is they can be oversensitive, moody, and a tendency to dissipate energies. Okay. So, once again, that explains a lot. The moon being an emotional planet. You know what I'm saying? Most of those people who have the moon in the first house, uh, there you have it, man. Just try not to be oversensitive, moody, or don't try to destroy energy. Don't try to make other people feel bad. You know what I'm saying? I have a tendency of doing that. All right. So we gonna get into Mercury. Okay. Get into the outer planets. Okay. It says Mercury is the planet of the mind. Okay. It says if you have Mercury in the first house, you are mentally alert, inquisitive, and humorous, and you need intellectual challenge. Okay. It says you like to travel and enjoy talking to people. It says you may be known as an ideal person and are probably a good mimic. You feel what I'm saying? So it says the good points are that they are adaptable, active, and good at writing and speaking. Okay. It says the bad points is, Mercury in the first house can make you restless, indecisive, or think too much about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just some psychoanalysis, man. That's Mercury. You know what I'm saying? For you Mercury people in the first house, you know, get you some rest. You know what I'm saying? Make the best decisions. All right. So Venus in the first house, like we just read, okay, it says planet of love and pleasure. All right. So people who have this planet in the first house says you are affectionate, flirtatious, and usually quite good looking. Okay. All right. Says you have charming social manners and like to have companionship. Says your appearance is important to you and you tend to spend too much money on yourself. All right. The good points is so you're sympathetic, artistic, and usually a cheerful personality. Okay. But the bad points is the Venus people can get lazy, narcissistic, and too fond of pleasure and luxury. So, most time people who have Venus in their first house is prone to addiction or they prone to, really abusing things that they really like or abusing people that they really like, man. So try to avoid that and don't be too headstrong. Don't be lazy, okay? All right. So we got Mars here. All right. Mars in the first house. All right. This is the planet of energy and assertiveness. All right. And it says you are impulsive and independent and dislike taking advice from others. You approach new projects with energy and confidence. It says, and are capable of hard work. It says you have strong sex desires and are passionate in love making. Good points are strong body, self-assertive, and courageous. Okay. Bad points is inconsiderate, pushy, domineering, and accident prone. Okay. So you Mars people out there, it's good. You guys are good freaks. But it says here you can be a little pushy. You can be a little, domineering. You know what I'm saying? And you might just be, prone to accidents. So there ain't such a good balance in a way, but you don't want to be good in the bed and then all of a sudden you just goofy or you just, what I'm saying, you can't take, consideration. You know what I'm saying? It's just that it doesn't add up. Uh, we gonna keep it moving, man. We got Jupiter, all right. So you got Jupiter in the first house, which is the planet of luck and expansion. You know what I'm saying? It says you have a buoyant, cheerful disposition and are a success socially. Okay. It says you inspire confidence, optimistic, and tend to be generous with your time and energy. It says you are blessed with luck and things usually turn out for the best in life. Okay. So the good points with having Jupiter in the first house is being jovial, broad-minded, expansive, and kind. Okay. Now the bad points can be too self-indulgent, or you can be too gullible, or you can be more have a marked tendency to gain weight. All right. And you're sometimes faithless in love. So you Jupiter people in the first house, man, you gotta have faith and know that somebody love you. Just don't be so naive till you just beat yourself up, that bad. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just be too stuck on yourself like that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of want to make sure you do find the right people to be around so you won't get so self-centered like that. All right. So Saturn, all right, Saturn in the first house, okay? And this is the planet of discipline and limitation. All right. So a lot of people, they don't like to see Saturn. Um, People see Saturn in their chart and they're like, oh, this is where I'm gonna have the most problems in my life and this and that. It really ain't like that. Just for a heads up, Saturn is actually one of the most protective planets that you can have in your chart, whatever area it's in. Uh, I ain't gonna lie, I got Saturn in my first house, but you know, it helps me to stay out of trouble and not just, you know, put myself at risk too much. Even though I am a risk taker, it helps me limit myself. You know what I'm saying? I have to always take precautionary action. It gives me a good way to think first. You know what I'm saying? So Saturn actually protects me instead of limiting me. So, but here it is. It says you are persistent, have organizing ability, and are capable of self-discipline. It says you are patient and a bit shy, feel nervous underneath. All right. It says what you keep under tight self-control, and that's true. Okay. It says, and you want your talents and work to be recognized. All right. And that's true. You know what I'm saying? It says the good points is being industrious and good powers of endurance, and you have a keen sense of responsibility. Okay. But the bad points is being stubborn and set in ways, and afraid of new beginnings and being secretive. You know what I'm saying? So I admit, like I say, me myself, I did have those problems. Uh I wasn't necessarily afraid of new beginnings, but uh being secretive and stuff, I ain't gonna lie, I still am. But I mean, I guess everybody needs some secrets, you can't tell everything, right? But it is what it is, man. So for your Saturn first, how people just try not to be stubborn and set in your ways, man. And don't be afraid of new adventures and new beginnings, man. And don't be afraid to ask for help also. We have a bad problem with that too. All right. So Uranus in the first house, okay. So it says the planet of change and originality. All right. It says, Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. Okay. So it says you have an inventive mind and may take up unusual interests or hobbies. Okay. It says your life is often marked by sudden and unexpected beginnings. It says you have a high, strong personality and an independent way of looking at things. It says you can be strong-willed about getting your own way. Okay. The good points is, you know, Uranus first house people are original, creative, and intuitive. Okay. But the bad points is can being inconsiderate, stubborn, and eccentric. Okay. So, you know, Uranus, I mean, it speaks for itself. People who like their original way, but yeah, I'm me type persona. You know what I'm saying? That's that whole Uranus effect, and most Aquarius are like that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make sure they do what they do to be original, but they're gonna put their own little uniqueness in it. You know what I'm saying? And just try to, like I said, just try to avoid being inconsiderate. You know what I'm saying? Don't be too stubborn. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of Aquarius, they can be. some of the most numb people that you ever meet, man. But they can be some of the, most loyal also. All right. So we're gonna get into Neptune, okay? And after that it'll be Pluto, and it'll be done with the first house on that, okay? So Neptune, all right, is the planet of spirituality and illusion, okay? So if you got this in your first house, it's the effect. It says you are imaginative and impressionable and can use this in artistic work, okay? It says you tend to be absent-minded because you like to daydream. It says you are fond of luxury and are sometimes lazy. A lot of your time is spent on or near the sea. All right. So good points is being visionary, idealistic, and sensitive to other people. Okay. And the bad points is procrastinating, being changeable, weak-willed, and never satisfied. Okay. So for you Neptune people, man, all y'all pretty much have to do is just see and think what y'all want, because y'all naturally, spiritual dreamers. So don't get stuck on, what you don't like and what you don't want to be. You got to make the difference, in your own mind so it can manifest. I ain't gonna lie, Neptune people, people who have Neptune in the first house or fourth house and stuff like that usually be great manifestors. Also, people who have the moon, if your moon is in Cancer, especially, you are a great manifester. You can easily just meditate and pretty much you can create your life through that. But of course, you still have to be active and do certain things. But you know, a lot of these planets are off mental creation, mental vibration planets. So meditation is the key. All right. So the last one here is Pluto. Okay. And Pluto is the planet of transformation. All right. So you got Pluto in your first house. It says you have an intense and magnetic personality and you seek adventure. So you learn to be self-sufficient when you were young and are inclined to be a loner. Okay. It says good points. All right. It says great strength, relentless in pursuing a goal, and potential for self transformation. All right. The bad points is inscrutable, vindictive, and ruthless. Okay. So these people do have a tendency to end up getting violent. You know what I'm saying? Pluto, the planet placement itself does show where people like to control in areas and aspects of their life. Um, Pretty much, man, Pluto, Mars, and I would say Pluto, Mars, and Jupiter, depending on where they're at, can cause, can show, how angry or how violent a person can be. Because with Jupiter, it's an abundance. So depending on where it's placed and what house, um, these planets do have placements where they're not so good at. So it ain't like, just because, your planet is in a certain position that it means good or bad. It could, a lot of times you'll see that you don't even have a planet in certain places. When you don't have a planet in a certain house, it just means that basically, long story short, that's your life experience. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any influence in those areas, so those areas will be determined by outsiders. Uh, it's not nothing bad. It's, I mean, think about it. If you came here, already knowing what to do, then what would be the point of coming here? So it's designed for you to still learn and to better who you truly are as yourself. That's the whole purpose of astrology. It's not to change or brainwash you into thinking that, you know, oh, you gotta keep up with everyday astrology to know how your life is gonna be affected. No, it's not nothing like that. Like I said, um, You have the will to control and change your own destiny. Astrology chart is just showing you the influences and the behavior basically that you come with. That's all it's doing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you know it's not like you supposed to just know. And like, can't nobody give you your destiny. Put it like that. Can't nobody tell you what's gonna happen in your life. Now, people can see things coming or see things that you may um do, or you might have some type of way. You got psychic people here. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't have to know a lot about you. They can just kind of look at you a little bit, listen to you talk, or see you move or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to have a good eye to read body language and stuff like that, and you got to know people. The best way to know people is to really know animals. I'm gonna give you a clue right there. Like, knowing animals is you know a major way to associate the mentality of even just people. Not saying that people are animals, but it's just a way to examine. You know what I'm saying? Um, like for instance, man, even in the Mayan, you know what I'm saying? They go by animal names. You know what I'm saying? They like to use animal signs to show that relation to the people. Um, Even to this day. Well, I share my screen one more time, right quick, just to show y'all this little part. Basically, like I say, just to you know, this just off a website I just found. Um, it's called gothwitch.co.uk, whatever it is. But it's just something I just found. I mean, it lined up with other sites that I found, but this is the first one I saw. But you see here, it says Mayan animal signs. It says Mayan animal sign finds your Mayan animal sign from your date of birth. It says each animal of Mayan zodiac is attributed with different characteristics which are reflected in your personality. Okay. It says Mayan civilization came into existence over 1,000 years. It says the ancient Maya interpreted and understood time in a particular way, which was totally different from any other existing culture or civilization. It says they understood and accepted the fact that time was not linear. It is just a series of repeating cycles. Okay, and that's what astrology shows also. The end of one cycle is the beginning of the other one, and that's true. That's why I went through the ages. I read the ages at the beginning. The age of Leo up to Aquarius now, and it said this is what led to the development of Mayan astrology, based on the interpretations of Mayan calendar. Anybody and everybody who are interested in use the Mayan calendar symbols can use it for the purpose of finding their path. Okay. These symbols are universal in nature and excel the third dimensional time. Okay. The goal is to become one with the galactic mind. All right. And that's the whole purpose, to know, okay, what is my life about? You know what I'm saying? So it says Mayans gave a lot of importance to animals. Okay. So they thought of them as their holy teachers. It says they even related animals to constellations. Knowing the animal moon can help you understand yourself better. Okay. And that's why I say, most cases, even with astrology, wherever your moon is at, it's pretty much letting where your spirit relies or where your spirit comes from. In most cases, now, most cases. Um, but as you see here, say below are the Mayan animal moon symbols. Okay, so these are the moon signs from the Mayan. As you see, they got it in actual Mayan language, but it's basically the bat, scorpion, the deer or stag, the owl, the peacock, the lizard, the monkey, the hawk, the jaguar, the dog, the snake, the rabbit, and the turtle are basically all moon signs in the Mayan astrology. Okay, so it says Mayan. It says Mayan animal signs. Find your Mayan animal signs from your day. He said, okay, yeah. So that's just explaining how you do it. Okay, but right here it says Mayan animal moon sign. It says Jaguar. The English name was Balaam. The crystal is Alexandrite. Okay, so they even give you the crystal to go with it. You see what I'm saying? Like even when you looking at today's astrology, what we have, you can find crystals that do align with uh your planet or whatever your horse, your birth sign is or whatever. Okay, so this interpretation, I'll just read this right quick just to interpret it. It says, profoundly revered in Mayan culture, the jaguar combines infallible action and grace. It says, known as Balam in Mayan language, jaguar is the epitome of strength. It says, people born under this sign often rise to great height in life. It says, you are majestic, commanding, imposing stature. It says, deeply thoughtful and considerate. You judge every aspect before taking any decision. Just like a jaguar, adept in climbing, swimming, and running, you possess versatile qualities. Okay, it says you are good at handling money. In fact, much better than those around you. It says blessed with good luck. You seem to be gifted with magical powers. It says from your childhood, you set a goal and exert enormous effort for the rest of your life to attain that. You are passionately involved to your daily work and never let go of any opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a simple interpretation of, how you would go about when you find your name in the Mayan way. And like I say, different cultures have different ways of doing things. And it's just surprising they got, my name, Jaguar, in there. And, I ain't gonna lie, I can agree with that. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I got some shit I gotta work on too. I gotta work on my anger like a mug. But, for the most part, man, I keep myself pretty stable. But yeah, man, that's just something, to really go into, man. Like I say, it's different ways to look at astrology. Some of y'all would probably be more interested in looking at it in this format. You see what I'm saying? So I don't have a lot on the Mayan astrology. I mean, it's a lot of research out here on it, but as far as just doing your own chart and stuff like that, I haven't really seen that yet. Um, but you see here, this is basically like just an outline of the way they like to, categorize you in your chart. You know what I'm saying? It's just a way, man. This is on different sites also, but you can see, like I said, it says red serpent. Um, what's the action? Survive, power, life force, essence, the instinct. See what I'm saying? So people, it's just basically wherever you line up with that when you do your chart within this. However, you align those things, those attributes, will relate to you. And that's just really what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing too much to it. It's a work because it's completely understanding and making sure you're doing it correct and exact. But other than that, I mean, why wouldn't you want to know yourself? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the bottom line. You know, it's major out here, man. The most wealthiest people do understand, you know, that they understand their own life charts. They understand their children's life charts. Whether you using this astrology, Mayan, like I say, uh, South American, Mayan, African, whatever. Um, and not only that, but it's good to always have somebody you are close to who do know something about it. If you haven't met anybody, then get close to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And like me, I don't mind building on it. Uh, anytime anybody want to just hit me up and talk about some things or try to get some information, man, email me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with helping people, man. This is just something that I feel our people need. Like I say, I ain't gonna try to take up too much time. The next time I get into it, I will I will get into the second house and how that affects, you know. And then I'll try to find it online to see if I can find a PDF. Other than that, we'll just try to keep it rolling, keep it simple on this level as far as just understanding astrology. Because like I say, it's more than anything, it's just really just showing, you know, what what your life is, man. Let me put my email in the chat right, man. Yeah, man. Seeker, that site is it says hold on, let me put the link. Let me put the link in the chat so y'all can just go to that site. Like I said, that's not the only one. That's just one I had. It's just something, like I say, that's the Mayan way now. So, it ain't nothing wrong. However you go with it. It really don't. It does not matter however you go at it. It's just about really being able to show, you know, really being able to pick up where you can pick up at. Like I say, man, it's something to do on your own time. I know it's a lot of information out here to really just go through. I know a lot of people, don't really even care to know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people just live their life regardless. Some people don't have to know all of this. But for us, the fact that we went through all this, trauma and went through so many lies and layers of who we are. I just feel like this would be something that'll help us, connect with ourselves and each other better, man. So, it's just my opinion on that. Like I say, even in the Atlantis in America book, he does get into astrology. It was just so long. I just didn't want to break the build of what we was trying to present, just basically showing you that Atlantis is America. That was my main thing, showing that Atlantis is America. But he does have a whole chapter on astrology. In that book, he like to explain what he knows as modern science today. So that way, you can't say he's being biased to what his interpretation of his own work is. So that's why the book is a good read. That's why I try to read it the way I do. I don't try to, overload with just so much speculation. I try to get to the meat so people can just run with it and utilize and apply it. You know what I'm saying? But he do got a whole chapter about astrology and understanding astrology and how we had observatories and different type of ways, astrology is presented throughout the world, but how basically we started it here in America. You know what I'm saying? So I know the Mayans for a long time, they was following Venus um, in regards just to the sun. Um, they really had a Venus connect. So it's just different things. Depending on where you at with it. It's just about building right now, man. We did a great build yesterday on A1 channel doing an American Indian Encyclopedia. We actually did two parts. I think we started uh right at I think we started at the P's on the first video, and then we went to the S's on the next video. We didn't even get to finish the S's, but if you haven't checked that out, please do. I'll probably posted it on my community section, man, because I just be forgetting to do stuff like that. I'm not really a technology guy. I'm really not, man. I just try to get in where I fit in, man, to really help the people progress, man. It's not all about me, so I just do it for y'all, man. But I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much longer, man. If I can come up with anything or any other information, y'all definitely will get it. But other than that, man, I'm gonna try to keep it rolling. I'm gonna try to get back in it tomorrow morning, and we'll just go over the second house all the way up until the 12, man, just so people can, if you can, just take notes or whatever, and then we'll actually get into how the planets affect each house. You know what I'm saying? On a more detailed level. So it's just a build that we can do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to have this in its uh own little lane with the astrology. I'm still gonna do the Atlantis builds. You know, we're still gonna work on other builds and stuff like that. I'm still even doing ecology. It's just so much on ecology. I don't even really know where I want to start with. I don't know if I want to start on a bacterial base or just go ahead and take it to the agriculture because it's just so much that you can explain and relate to, you know, just from inside out with ecology that I mean it's literally it gotta be a curriculum within itself, man. So I mean it's just too much to explain about it. But you know, I'll let y'all get right, man. Like I say, man, glad y'all jumped in, man. Share the video, uh, you know, and try to find out what you got going in your life. You know what I'm saying? Or what your life is about if you don't know, man. But we out here, man. I'm gonna play this track right quick. My brother actually did this beat. That's why I've been, rocking with this one lately. I gotta get my sounds and stuff even better though, so you can really hear the thing. But I'm gonna let y'all rock it out, man. So peace to everybody, man. Much love and respect, and keep progressing, y'all. Peace.